On the face of it, this is a pretty nondescript sort of picture of 7 islands, and it's up to us as artists to make something of it, to change it. I certainly won't be doing entirely winter trees when I do this. I'm going to invent a autumn scene, maybe a much warmer sky and a bit of beach. I'll still call it 7 Islands. I'll put it up here so I can see it as a reference, but like most of my paintings I've changed them around quite considerably. Also, you have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of photographs on YouTube, but there's a bit of a minefield because a lot of those photographs, like I'm trying to do with my videos, are copyright. But I think the main difference is that the views that the camera takes exist for everybody, not just for the camera or the photographer. They might make an arrangement of things which is peculiar to them, but the view that I'm going to try up here, that view's for everyone to see. The fact that somebody takes a photograph of it and I work from the photograph, there's neither here nor there, as far as I'm concerned. But I bet your life some clever lawyer will argue the case in favour of the photographer. But I am the photographer of this. So all I would really say is if you want to work from photographs online, and I have to say that I do from time to time, not very often. I prefer to work for my own stuff and my own body of work that has built up over the last 18 months on the YouTube stuff. Then change it around, change the mood, add something that wasn't there, make it your own, in other words. That's my only advice. Of course, you are free to copy and put your own signature on my stuff, as long as it's not my stuff. But your attempt at doing something with it, you're more than welcome to do that. You won't get any trouble from me. Anyway, little rant over. Usual palette of lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. All very dirty from yesterday's painting. I'm working on Fabriano, £130. Nice paper for wetting wet. Well, nice paper, it's very inexpensive. You get this from Granthams, art discount. And buy it in blocks of 100 sheets. It's a great way to buy it. And I think when you get something very reasonably priced, same as these student quality watercolours from Winsor & Newton, 21mm tubes, Cotsman, you're not tempted to be stingy with it because it costs the earth. Because this is relatively cheap, you can use and squeeze out as much paint as you want. You don't have to work from dry paint like I am. I sometimes work from just the tube paint, which is the original way of painting in this method, where you've got nice paint ready to go without having to scrub it first with your brush. But it's very convenient. So you see this raw sienna is getting very bleached out now. It's been on there so long. I'm going to have to replace it. So let's put in some nice warm. The water's going to be down here. So what I put in the sky, I'm going to put in the water. So we've got a nice warm colour there. The paint is very dry day again today. So I'm going to put a bit of alizarin in there. And then a bit of lemon yellow. Let's push the boat out. Not a lot's going to get painted over. So I'll put a bit of a night cloud in. So I'll use a bit of alizarin, bit of Payne's grey and a bit of ultramarine in there to mix the 3 colours up there. So we'll just have some fun with it, but especially as it gets closer to the horizon, a bit lighter and a bit heavier right on the top there. let's get that in there. Right, now I don't have a clue how that's going to turn out. As you can see, the paper is expanding, so carefully, just really, well, you have to be careful. It's pretty robust material, this watercolour paper. Take off the surplus water from the, or colour from the bottom, so it doesn't dry back. Now you can, if you want, you can use a tissue to blot out some of the colour there. I have done it, I used to do it, but you can overdo it. But you do what you like. Now I'm going to put in a background of blue, nice blue, and a bit of alizarin, just as a to give some distance, to some aerial perspective to this. So we'll have the horizon fairly about there. I'm going to superimpose a heavier colour over this. This is just the background to stretch your imagination, the illusion of there being a lot of depth in there. Can add some more darker. I'm going to put in another island in front of that. Now, so having said the what I said about loose colour straight from the tube, I'm just going to put a bit of burnt sienna out there. The ultramarine is quite new, and I'm going to mix it to show you, if I can, what happens when you put a darker mix with wet tube paint. The ultramarine is very new anyway. That only went on the palette last night, so that's still nice and loose. Now if we put that in, I like mixing ultramarine with burnt sienna, but my palette is just what I use. I don't often vary it. But if you prefer cobalt blue to ultramarine, it's your prerogative. Let's get some lighter colour on that bit of a beach going across here. That bit dark. I'm really going to have to do something about this sienna. It's been on there 18 months or whatever. Mix a bit of sienna with that. Burnt sienna, shall I say. Right, get some autumn colour in there, straight from the tube paint. It will register. Some blue in there. All the way across there. So that's the basic stuff in there. And with the sienna, raw sienna, I can probably just put in some there. And I can put in some nice green with lemon yellow, thick lemon yellow, ultramarine. No, not yellow enough, not green enough. It's worth having a try with your different thicknesses of colour. As I say, you don't have to do what I do. This is just what I do at the moment. Another day, might be different. Now I'm just going to get some colour up here. Need to vary the size of the trees, otherwise it would be all the same. But if you're using neat paint, all your colours are straight from the tube, you will have to find a way of holding the palette if you're going to hold it at all, because the paint will run everywhere. Now I'm just going to straighten that up a bit. That's the island there, but it won't show, probably not. Looks like it's going uphill a bit. Right, I'll put a bit of a beach in here. So that's coming across. I'll put I've reversed the beach, haven't I, from the picture, which is fine. You see, if you want to put a portrait on your wall, then take a photograph and do that. But as artists, we're making something from something else, basically. Now, you don't have to agree with my views on anything. And I hope you don't. I want to put some little flicks. I'll put the reflections in later. See, that sienna is a beautiful, rich, deep red. We'll get more heavier. Let's just get that coming up. Now I'm going to mix a bit of red with the Ultra. I mix a bit of burnt umber and blue, because I want the heavier colour in this part of the picture. Dark, really dark, because I'm going to scrape out with some pebbles and stuff. A lot of colour, a lot of different variety in there. I can put some trees in there. Right, now we've got the colour in, we can. Now these will only be pebbles here, really. There are no rocks on this common lake, or lake on a Mitcham Common pond. But we can exaggerate a few scrapes, just catching the light. We can do some more here. Now I've made that look as if that is a mile away, but in fact it's only about 100 yards, if that, metres, whatever you like. Just a scrape out here. Okay, just a technique, but very easy to overdo. Alright, I quite like that. There's some movement in the sky. That has not gone quite as well as I'd hoped. But I will go over with those colours as we go. Now I'm going to put some more stuff in here on this side. So I will. I'll use some burnt umber and mix with a bit of this solid bit of sienna. I don't want to repeat here, and I probably will, but just get some dark in there. My dark there, instead of using Payne's Grey here, I'm using the burnt umber mixed with the ultramarine. It's a warmer grey. Well, I reckon we could get away with that. Now, get some darks back in there. Just and I'll put some good darks here. I'm saying I'm going to have to go over that. I'll do it over this side. I want something on that island there. Coming into there. So I'll put some shadow on there. When that dries, I can. That hasn't really worked, but if I flick out, then I can strengthen up there. Let's get that bit in there. Okay. So that'll do for that. Now, I've got to put some stuff in here, some texture, but if I want to get some of my usual bit unpredictable where this actually goes, but you get lots of these stunted trees that you can, well, they're not stunted, they're thin, they're waterlogged probably. Lots of branches. There's silver birch here, but I'm not going to paint the silver birch. But so just hit and miss. Lots of trees coming up here. Then we'll anchor that. Shadow there, cast, and then to do the flicks, and then this is my way of showing twigs. Practice it, it's very useful. Using that part of the brush, just dipped in a bit of colour. If you want to show some individual leaves, you can. And I'm going to use a rigger now just to strengthen it up. Couldn't say that, can I? No, we'll just put some more twigs in here. Quite make them look spontaneous, just flicks. Just put the detail back in there, some reeds coming up here, or grass, I say, show the reflections. It's all very simple. It's having the confidence to have a go, and don't try to paint pictures. Don't photographs. We're not photographers. We're painters. Just use the end of the rigger. Just let it go. Make it look random, spontaneous, as if it just happened. And then we can do some more lovely darks in here. Oh, I'm using all of this brush. Dipping it in that lovely loose burnt sienna. Not a lot of that left now. I'll put some pondy grass sticking up through here. I don't know how deep this is. Friends of mine used to go fishing here when we were kids. I never found it until 18 months ago. Well, it wasn't lost. I was. I don't know why I never found it, living in Mitcham at the time. It was just, well, we lived in Streatham actually, and Streatham was, to a boy, it was quite a way away from Mitcham Common. Maybe I wasn't allowed to go on my bike. Now I've got to do some reflections on that, so, but I need to put in some, just some detail on this bank here. Nothing very much. Right, I'm going to dry it, so take your headphones off. Now you'll see when we compare this with the photograph that it bears absolutely no relation to it whatsoever. We've made a painting, but obviously I've done this review loads of times before, but they're not all done before. A lot of them are first timers. Right, so I get my darks. You need to control the amount of water you've got in your hake, if you're using a hake, which I hope you are. No, we just... that colour, lovely colour there. Bit of blue back there. More of that yellow in there. Now that a bit of alizarin in there. And then a bit of that cloud. So now we've got everything on there in the kitchen sink, haven't we? Right, I'll sign it and we'll see if anybody would like it on their wall. In a very expensive frame. We don't normally talk about frames, but a good frame, a well chosen frame with a couple of, with a mount or double mount aligned, can really add 50% to a picture. You'll be surprised. If I give a painting away, and I do give a lot away to friends, always on the understanding that they pay to have it properly framed, and not a DIY job, because if they get something for nothing and they have to spend money on it, they value it. Anybody could say, yes, I'd love to have one of your pictures and do nothing with it, or stick it in a DIY frame, and I'm afraid it doesn't wash with me. Put that there, put it there. Just hold it in the mount, and we'll see. I'll try it with, if I can, oh, where is it? I've got a light coloured mount here somewhere. I don't know. We'll try it in that first to see what it looks like. Well, there we are. I think it's got a nice bit of colour in it, bit of autumny, overdone, trying to show off, trying to show you what we can do. Here's my picture. Back to front, isn't it? But it bears no relation to what I was working from. The sky is totally different. So this is what you have to do if you're going to take a photograph of the internet. Change it around, make it your own. I hope you enjoyed that. I won't zoom you in. I think it's nice to see as it is. I'll put it in. Well, I'll put the other frame, the other mount on it. See what. Oops. What's? Ah. So that's it in that frame. So I don't know what you prefer. Maybe you'll tell me. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.